Hey everybody, just a heads up, you're going to hear a lot of white noise in this video. I had my fan on full blast because if you didn't know, New York is now considered a tropical island because of how hot it gets here. So that it was doing its job by keeping me cool in this room. So sorry about that, but otherwise, enjoy the rest of the video.
Welcome back, Cozy Travelers. If you are new to my channel, I want to welcome you here. And if you're coming back, I want to welcome you back. On today's video, we are doing our summer mid-season check-in for summer. I did this one back for spring, and I really enjoyed kind of giving a reflection on the midway point for my pens. Again, I was asking before, like if you're new here, I ink my pens not monthly but seasonally. So the last time I had new pens was for spring, and these are all inked up from the beginning of June to the end of August, and then September would start my fall pens. So because I don't really change the core ones out, I like to kind of look back, and up until that midpoint everything stays as is, and sometimes I won't swap them out, but I'll add in pens. So I have to show you what this looks like. So typically at most I have like 13 pens, and then I'll add like 2 or 3 more. I don't know what happened, but yeah, these are all inked. So all these here, this one, everything here, and then I had to add my rickshaw to then house these extra pens. So I'm gonna go through most of them. The core 13 are in my inking for summer, so if you haven't seen that video, I'll link that up there. But yeah, we'll talk about here what I've swapped out now, now that I've gotten some time to play with these, and everything I've added in here. So let's get started. So this time around, of the 13 I had inked, a huge majority of them were actually really like solid writers for me. What I typically do is, as I write with them two to 3 times a month, so up to this point I've used some of these pens at least like 4 to 5 times, because I use one every day in my daily journal. I'll actually show you what that looks like. I happen to have it right near me here. Yeah, so I use the pen. This is obviously a July start, so there's not the month prior, but in June this is all filled. So what I do is I make sure that a different pen is used every day, and I'll tally off here how many times I've used it. If I see a pen has only been used once and others have been used twice, I'll make sure to use those single ones first before cycling through everything again, and then that'll be the same up until the end of August here. So with that, I typically write in print in my journal, and so I always want to test out and make sure that it's used in cursive, because I like to write pen pal stuff in cursive at times. So what I do is I'll write and test out things in cursive, and do my final deductions there to see how smooth it is that way. And right now I'm transcribing Pride and Prejudice, so that's what I've been using to kind of test everything out. I usually tend to do like at least like a paragraph's worth of writing. So yeah, we'll just quickly go through everything. Like I said, it's 10 out of the 13 were like basically what I consider like a 5-star. So this one's starting off here. Let's see if I should do it this way. Yeah. Oh. So the first one up here we have is the Mike's Pen Fun pocket pen that I've named Cinnamon Sugar. This one is inked up with Waringal Seasoned Fried Chicken. This one was great. Loved how that wrote. Print was fine. So that one is great. Moving on. I think most of these are just going to be kind of jogging your memories of the pens I used. Next up was the TWSBI with Vinta Makopa. Great, smooth, perfect, no complaints. From there we have the Radius Setimo in the Bohemian Twilight. This has Colorverse Gravity Wave. That was the sample here. Fantastic. Let's see if we could kind of power through these, because yeah, when I say like I really like the combinations this season, I was so happy with. Like I really only had to switch out a few, so I'm just gonna show a bunch of these at once. So we have the Pen BBS here. This one has the Sailor custom Junetsu that came with one of my pens. The Matsutora from Platinum with Birmingham Pen Company Sunburst. I'm gonna skip over this one for 1 second. We have the Edison Pen Company pen antique marble with Kinmokusei Platinum. And here we have the Esterbrook Sea Glass with Dominant Industry Les Fales de Tretat. Okay, got those 4 there. The last 2 here we have is my Jinhao 1990 Didao in green, aka the pickle pen, and my Benu Pixie in plum cream with Troublemaker Grapevine, which I added shimmer to this. Powered through these because, yeah, a lot of these there's not much to say. Colors are great, wrote amazing, both ways in print and cursive. The one I skipped over for a second though was the Sailor Wild, the Sailor Natami, why do I keep saying Sailor? Because the color Sailor. The Natami Green with what was originally Diamine Meadow, but the problem here was that I wrote with this and the ink would not come out. It was such a chore to write with this that I immediately, I think the first time I attempted to write with it, I uninked it. I didn't want to change the color family because I really liked how this looked. So I remembered that in my video where I reviewed my anime pens, that color that came with my Tiger and Bunny pen, the colors is from Sailor, Wild Roar Green, matched this really nicely. But because this one was drier and the Sailor was wetter, I swapped it and now this pen writes great. And it actually went from being what would have been like a 0 to a 5. So sometimes that is something you have to kind of keep in mind when you're inking pens. Like if a certain ink doesn't work with a pen, it might not be an issue with the pen. It might just be that the combination together does not work. In this case, I think because this is a dry writer with the dry diamine, at least with the meadow color, it wasn't working. But then when I swapped it to a Sailor, which is a lot more wetter, it worked perfectly. So sometimes it's just a matter of switching the formula of the ink. So if you're having an issue and you want to test it out, get a sample of a different color or a different brand and see if that's the issue. Otherwise, maybe it is the pen. But it is a matter of going back and forth and seeing where that issue lies. But really glad I swapped it because this is such a great write of the two together. So having talked about the top colors, let's briefly talk about the ones that I wasn't as in love with, because that would be the remaining 3. This one was pretty close to almost being perfect, the Sailor pen with the 3 oysters Hanyul. It was really good. I like the color together. Do I want to see how this looks with a different color? Maybe. Maybe the one that came with it. We'll see. But this one came very close. Really enjoyed it. We'll definitely repeat that combination. But just something about it wasn't like exactly perfect for me. And that's just a matter of preference. I think if someone else tried this combo, they might like it. But just for me, there was just something that was missing. Maybe like the blue needed to be a little bit more maybe neutralized or like diluted, muted down maybe. But yeah, we'll try that with a different combination and see how that turns out. But the only 2 that I had an issue, and honestly was no issue with like formula. Maybe it was just the 2 together. Wait, no, that's a lie. Okay, so that, what I'm saying for that, definitely is the vibe I had with the Tono and Limbs old book ink with the Benu. So originally I had really kind of liked that vibe of the brown with this pen, and it wrote well. I don't think that was the problem I had with it. It was more so that I just didn't like the brown with this pen. I even wrote in the note like maybe I needed to add a shimmer to it or something, but it just didn't give me the vibrancy that I wanted to have with this pen. Like this is such a gorgeous glittery shimmery pen, like, so not having something fun, like I've had Earl Grey in here, with some gold shimmer in it and stuff. So like, I think this pen just warrants something more. Funny enough, it's not like I put a shimmer in this now. I did swap the color out with this, so I'll talk about that after I go over the next pen. But I did ink this up with another brown, which I, for some reason, like more. I don't know why. I'll show it to you in a second. Before that though, I just want to talk about the Jinhao color. So this one was with Manyo Haha, right here. I liked the combination. Again, it was a really pretty color combo with this pen. This one was more so a struggle with the writing. I had to like really press this down to get ink out when I'm writing in cursive. In print, I didn't notice that much of an issue, but when I was doing this transcription, it was a lot tougher to get out. So I was wondering if maybe the color was just too light writing with this nib, which is not the Jinhao nib. It is a Opus 88 nib that I swapped out for in a medium. So what I did is I made a custom mix with what was left in here of the Sailor Manyo Haha and actually added a bit of Manyo Fuji. So I'm actually going to show that color as well. But thankfully those were the only two pens that I didn't love, and I was able to pick new colors for them that I really liked. So I'm actually going to swatch and show also all the other pens I've added since then, because like I said, I went from like 13 to near almost like 18 or 19 pens that are now inked. So let's see what damage I've done. Okay, so here we have everything that I've now newly inked and added. And we'll start with these three because these are pens that I had originally talked about in the what I have inked for summer. So we'll start with the Natami Green. Like I mentioned, this one was originally with Diamine Meadow, but I had to swap it out for this color here, which came in a really cool box. It says Stern Build, which I mentioned. So this pen was in collab with the anime Tiger and Bunny. So the bottles have these characters on them. And we have Wild Roar Green, and we have Star Rookie Red. And the one I had picked for this one was this green. So let me swatch it. Let me do a little line. And we'll write what it was. So this is Sailor X KNB Wild Roar Green. Super cool green, really loved it, matches really well with this pen, and glad that I actually wrote with it. So next up we're gonna do the color that I swapped into my Benu Talisman, which is, like I said, surprisingly, even though I was complaining that I felt like the Tono and Lim's old book wasn't vibrant enough, I swapped it in with Sailor State Texas. This brown I feel like is a lot richer, so I don't know what if, like, just because of that aspect I really enjoyed it with this pen, but I really do. Like, the second I wrote with it, I was like, yes, this is the brown that I think I wanted with this combination. And so we have, yeah, like there's a lot more shading in here, whereas with the old book I didn't feel like there was any, so it just kind of fell flat. But this one has some nice shading to it. So this is Sailor USA States Texas. Next up we have the custom color I made for my Jinhao, and I'm just opening it because I didn't really make the color separately. I just kind of drew in Fuji in here while there was still some of the Haha left. So we're gonna see if I could just put a drop out. Okay, and then maybe, let's see how this goes. Oh yeah. Super cute. So yeah, this is a mixture of equal parts Sailor Manyo Haha and Sailor Manyo Fuji. Fuji leans a lot more purpley and Haha leans a lot more blue. I'm going to show you the sample cards I've swatched. So yeah, you have the two here. So Fuji's a lot more purple, Haha's a lot more blue. That blue was a struggle with this pen to write with, so I thought if I mix a little bit of this into that, and by little I mean ended up being equal parts, that it would match in this pen really well and also write better, which since I've been using it, it's been working really well. So I think the plan I had for it worked out really well. So I'll put, yeah, like it writes so much clearer now. Custom Sailor Manyo Haha plus Fuji. Really love this color. Like I said, it brings out like the shading and like the chroma shading in both of them, because you get the purple and the blue and other colors in there, which is really fun. Okay, now for the exciting part. The pens that I've added since then, which is 6 pens. So yeah, that gets me to 19. We'll start off with my Kaweco. So I recently got the color Troublemaker Kelp Tea, which I talked in great lengths in my Swatch and Draw episode 2. And in that I was mentioning that I had done a custom mix where I put that with some of the shimmer from Wearingeul, specifically Brave, which is this one. This stuff is great. I love making shimmer blends myself. I got inspired a lot by Wearingeul's colors because I have so many samples. I'm always like, it's like I want to see if I can make something similar to it. Sometimes I'm successful, other times it's not exact, but it's still fun to kind of play around with inks. So right now, yeah, I have that custom shimmer blend in here in the little vial. Some of these I still have from when I get samples from Yoseka, and then others I had ordered from AliExpress a while ago, so I still have some of these. So let's get some swatching. I did agitate this a little bit to get some of that shimmer in here. Hope it shows. Alright, and then currently I had swapped in my broad nib from my AL Sport, the something on the side there, my Vibrant Violet, and that's been no issue, because I know I've had issues in the past with finer nibs in Kaweco having issues with shimmer. Troublemaker Kelp Tea. So if you have, I guess, a broad or like a double broad, these should handle the shimmer pretty well. So yeah, I have that inked up there. So speaking about Kawecos, I actually originally had with this color, you can kind of see the outline of like a paper. I had to fix this because I originally had this color inked up in my Kaweco AL Sport Sakura Lucent, because the pink from this with the pink from the color I had originally in it was beautiful, but I had issues that like when I would write with it, it would turn like tan. Like I guess like the undertone of the color I'm about to show was showing more through with this than it is in the pen I have now. So I had to swap it out because the color I put into this was the Kobe Strawberry Chocolate. I have had the sample, love this color, and thankfully a friend of mine was able to order some from Nagasawa and ordered an extra bottle so I could have one. But so I originally had it in my Kaweco, and that's when I originally like dip tested it. But when I write with it, and this is pretty empty, but there might be some still in the feed, it writes, yeah, like it's not the same color. Like this is a fully different color. Like look at that. It's like a tan color compared to the pink it was when I originally wrote with it. So that wasn't doing it for me. So I was like, maybe the fine nib on this is too dry and not working with the Kobe ink. So I decided to swap it with a pen I had wanted to use this color with as well. And that is the Sailor pen collab with Line Friends in the Brown Bear, because this pen reminds me of like hot chocolate, and so is like the strawberry chocolate would be so cute in here. So that's what kind of inspired this swap here. And I have not had any issues with this now. So let me swatch the color and show you how really cute this color is. And I really love dusty pinks, so this fell right into that kind of family for me. Oh, I forgot to do the line. Hold on. Oh, that was a lot closer than I thought it would be, but that's fine. Okay, there we go. And so this is the, yeah, see, it writes more of how I planned it to write. Kobe, strawberry, chocolate. And the nib on this one is a medium. I really prefer the Sailor mediums if I could get it in not the MF, like the medium fine. But for if you do get an MF, like it writes still pretty well, but I just like the juiceriness of the mediums, have less issues with them. They also, I like the feedback in Sailors. The mediums I feel like don't have as much feedback, but it's slightly there, so it's kind of that nice like wet but also feedback feel for me for this size. All right, we have the next one here, which is inked up in my Sailor Moroccan Mint Tea pen in Kisan. And this one, along with the pen that I'm going to talk about next, was talked about in my mid-season pen check-in. I do have a bottle of this ink. I just have it away and it's kind of difficult to get to right now. I didn't really think of having it out, so I'm just going to put a little, just like I did with the other one, put a little drop out. Okay, and then, okay, that should be enough. This one was a gorgeous color to me, and the reason it kind of spoke to me to put these together was because of the body of this pen. And that is with Wearing Gold Purgatorio. Another like dusty brown pink. Really enjoy this color. So this is Wearing Gold Purgatorio, and this is the other color I had spoken about in my Swatch and Draw episode 2. I actually drew it on the same page with my Kelp Tea, so it's kind of funny that they're both here together. But yeah, like the purpliness of these two, like the blend just works for me. Next up we have here, is the other birthday pen, which, I don't know if I mentioned that here in this video, but the Moroccan Mint and this one were what I considered my birthday pens for June. This one has a really cute cat paw on there and the Japanese Tsushima cat on the nib. This one is inked up with Lennon Toolbar Brown Sugar. I don't have a full bottle of this, but a friend of mine from my journal meetups was able to give me another sample bottle of this, so I am stocked up because I also use it to write in my Laban, just because I'm not a huge fan of just straight black in my journals. So this dark brown, almost black when you're writing with I have it in a flex, is like gorgeous. So I get some of that like depth in the color as opposed to it just being a flat black. But yeah, the reason I chose this one is it really reminds me of that middle part of the pen here. So the brown sugar really was pretty with this one. This one I was really lucky to also get it in a medium. and writes like a dream. Squeezing here in the bottom, I have the Kakamori Frosted Green. This is my, well, at the time I wrote this list, it was my most recent pen purchase at the end of June. This is the Kakamori Frosted Green. Love the pen, writes really well. I have it inked up with Lennon Toolbar Aunt Chair. This is the sample version I had gotten from Yotsuka before I bought the full bottle. And so I've just been using this one until I'm gonna finish this one up first before I open up the bottle, which with this combination with this pen seems pretty easy because I really like how pretty closely matched they are. Like I'll go through them and show how that looks next to this pen. But so this is Lennon Toolbar Aunt Chair, and this is also in a medium. But let me, oh, pencil board. Hold it like this. There we go. So you can see like the green on this is like really nice with that green. Looks kind of really almost like black on the screen, but this is like a really deep green, so this matches really nicely. Alrighty, and to wrap everything up, obviously these all fit perfectly here, and this was honestly what my layout was going to be until my most recent pen came in, and that was the one I posted the extra video about last week, and that is my new custom-made pen from Laravel Pens. Absolutely gorgeous pen. I cannot stop raving about this. I brought this to my most recent journal meetup, and everybody was also like, oh my god, it's gorgeous, like the look of it is unique, the feel of it's really nice. So again, if you aren't following Laravel Pens, Laravel_pens on Instagram, you definitely should. They make great pens. I think they're setting up their store to be live some point early to late August, so keep an eye on them because they're making really amazing pens. But so this pen came in, and I obviously, like, I'm looking at the pen, I couldn't not ink it, so that one got inked up with a custom color that I had done a while ago. It was a mixture of Hana Ikara, these are all from Pilot Irishizuku, so it was Hana Ikara, Tsutsuji, and Shinkai, and it made this beautiful pink purple color that I literally cannot have asked for a better match for this pen. I don't even really have a name for it. Like, I think for right now I'm just calling it the same color that I have the pen as, which is rose milk tea, so I just call it rose. I think I said rose purple, or no, rose pink. So I'm just putting here custom Pilot, I spelled Pilot with 2 L's there, Pilot Irishizuku Rose Pink. Yeah, that's cute. Yeah, so that one was the other pen because it was only 18 pens inked before, and then obviously I got a new pen and I had to ink it up. So you zoom back out. Yeah, so this is all the damage I added on top of the fact that I already had 13 pens inked up for summer. But you know what? That's all right, because what fun is it if you're not adding other pens? And like I said, I try to cycle through them so they all get some TLC. Even though I'm not writing as much with this one, it's absolutely gorgeous. So let me see if I could, they're not all dry, but pull it up a little bit more to the light. That kelp tea with the glitter is so cool. Like, I'm telling you, like, if you have the Wear and Glow potions, just honestly play with them. Like, you can get some really cool ink combinations out. Like, I would have loved to put some shimmer in there, but I'm not as comfortable putting shimmer into my Jinhao 82. Maybe I would put it in my pickle pen, but not this one. And yeah, these are all of them. Let me know if there's any combinations that you're like, those are really good together now. And yeah, I am so excited to be filming up another mid-season one. Is it weird that it's already the middle of summer? Yes. But that just means that I get to be excited about the next video to film. So thank you all for watching. I will see everybody in 2 weeks. As always, stay healthy and well, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Alrighty, bye.